Hey everyone, just a quick reminder before the show to do our sponsorship survey when you have a minute. It'll really help us find the best sponsor for our audience and help the show grow and become better. Thanks a lot and appreciate it. Also, don't forget to join us on our social medias, and if you'd like to be a guest, remember, email us at pod.fandoms@gmail.com. Enjoy the show. Hey, otakus and weebs, you're listening to HeyAnime. I'm your host, Bertie Otway. Today, we're talking to Ash Bashem, aka Christian, about the daily life of high school boys. Welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is going to be a very interesting anime we're going to be discussing.
It really is. I had no idea what I was getting into when you recommended it. Like, I went in being like, oh, is this going to be like some kind of like slice of life boys school anime, like one of those cliches? And I mean, it had a lot of cliches in it, but more making fun of them for sure. It was the intro alone, like, killed me the first time around. Like, it's just all this mundane crap set to like hardcore anime music.
That's why like this specific anime, like you can basically tell people just the title alone of this thing, and a lot of people will be like, they'll think of a different thing in their head when it comes to this anime. Like I've recommended this to many of my friends, and they all laughed at me because they're like, high school boys. What do you think high school boys think of? Disgusting things. Since we're like, we're immature and all that stuff. Very different like way of doing this entire like series, because this is actually a comedy series for a lot of people that have never really like dove into like a lot of comedy stuff. It's very gaggy, and just like you said earlier, it's very cliche because this thing literally parodies like shonen anime and also slice of life type of like ordeals that happens in like all of like manga and in freaking anime.
Yeah, it's pretty hit or miss with the skits. Like some of the skits, it's like, okay, yes, I get the joke. And other ones, it's like had me like laughing my ass off.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite episode out of the bunch?
To be fair, like my favorite episode, oh man, which one is it? I think it was either episode 4 or 5 when we get introduced to Motoharu's sister for the first time, and he's known as like the delinquent boy because they label him as a delinquent boy literally like in the first episode that we see him. And it's like he's going through like his story with like him and his sister all the time. And it's the ending to the skit, to the little episodic skit with him, that you find out that he's actually been bullied his entire life because of his sister.
Oh, is that the one where she's like, oh, that game we used to play?
Yes. Yes. 100% yes. He's like, oh, I don't find this fun. He's like, what do you mean? You always thought it was fun.
Yeah.
And then the realization kicks in. So like, oh man, my sister's my bully. Holy crap.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. That one hit pretty close to home. I think my favorite one was the JR. They're like going through like JRPG tropes.
Yes. Oh my god, yes. Oh, dude, like anytime they brought
That
up
one absolutely killed me.
dude, anytime they brought up like any type of RPG thing, it always was just hilarious because if everyone that's played RPGs, you understand what's going on in those situations.
There was oddly a lot of boys trying on girls' underwear. I was like, I did not do that as a teenage boy.
Yeah, those parts, I feel that a lot of people would probably just not enjoy that. To me, I thought it was hilarious because it's the fact that like these guys are just being curious about stuff, but they take it to an extreme.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's not knocking you if that's your thing. Like, if you ain't hurting anybody, you do you. But like, it just seemed like I was like, I think somebody who wrote this was trying to get something out.
That's the funny part, though, when you bring that up, because they mentioned it in the very, very first episode, right after the intro credit hits. It's like this is a collaboration between Sunrise, which people that have known Sunrise their entire lives, that they make Gundam. Like that's mostly all the stuff that they make when it comes to anime is Gundam. But then you get I forgot what the other
Right.
studio was that's doing it with them. I wish I should have pulled all my notes up about that. But it's the fact that like they were in a collaboration with this thing. So like they basically had free range on like what to do when it comes to this thing, because this is basically just it's just shonen tropes the show. It's just every single episode is literally shonen tropes the show, and it hits every point like basically to the T pretty freaking well.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's not really something you'd expect from Sunrise for sure. Yeah, I still don't know if I liked it or not. Like there were definitely parts I liked, but like I don't know if it's because I binged it, but like by the end I was like, thank God I am done. Like it's not the most bingeable show. Like it is definitely more digestible. Like I could see it being like viral clips and stuff like that. And I did find it a little bit easier to watch when I was able to watch it on YouTube dubbed by AW Dubs. They only had the first 2 episodes, but, other than some voices not really matching the faces and stuff, they did a pretty good job. It was funny. They changed the jokes enough to make them fit with the dub, with keeping in the spirit, and it was a really good job.
You know, the funny part, I've never like interacted with anything of the dub when it came to this thing. I'm mostly a sub guy when it comes to watching all my animes. The only reason why I'm not like a big dub guy specifically is because they sometimes change specific things in the depending on what it is in the sentences and stuff like that, and they relate it only to like Western stuff.
Yes.
But you gets misrepresented, which sometimes doesn't fit like a lot of the things when it comes to like some of the joke telling. And you probably noticed this in because I've listened to some of your episodes in the Fully Cooley one. If you've watched the dub, they make mentions of like discontinued products in the West, but they make very other specific things that are only specific to Japan in that actual like anime itself.
Yeah, with Fooly Cooley, I only watched the dub. With this, I did the subbed for all of it, and then I watched this fan dub of the first 2. And I feel like the fan dub did a good job, like keeping the spirit of the jokes from the 2 I seen at least, and they did a really good job. I found. I personally like if there is a dub and it's not completely awful, I like to go with the dub just because I can do other things while I'm watching it and not have to completely read the entire time. But like certain things, it's like, oh yes, the dub is so bad that subbed is the only option. But I don't think there is an official subbed version for, I mean, dubbed version for this. I couldn't find one at least.
No, I don't think they actually have one for this one because there's a lot of like animes out there that they're very popular either within like Japan or even sometimes in the West, but you never get a actual like dub form at all because one, this one would be very difficult for them to dub basically because
Oh, I can imagine. Like watching those first 2 episodes, there's like a good couple years between them, and it's probably a lot of working the jokes into English while keeping the spirit of the joke while anglicizing it because like
mhm.
it can't be easy.
No, especially with this one because they make a lot of mentions to Dragon Quest, and I don't know that many people here in the West that like has played Dragon Quest. Like most of my nerdy,
Me, I love it. I'm obsessed. Number 5 is like one of my favorite games ever. I just finished playing all 3 Dragon Quest Monsters on the DS and Switch, and now I need to go back and play the even older ones.
oh man, you must have enjoyed when they brought up like Dragon Quest just in general. Then
Oh yeah, I geeked out. I was like, "Woo! Yes, represent."
yes, oh my god, yes. Speaking of Dragon Quest, 1 and 2 are being HD remastered, so we'll be probably getting those pretty soon.
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited. I just beat the first one on my phone not too long ago on my last work rotation, and now I'm gonna play number 3 and number 2 on my
Mm,
Switch.
nice, nice. In your actual like amounts of times of watching stuff in anime just in general, like how many times have you come across like gag animes like this though?
I'm not big on them. Typically find a lot of Japanese humor is the reactions and not so much
Mhm.
the jokes. And that's not really my kind of humor. I do like this where it's more joke based. So I find I tend to like the most I've really watched that I would say is a gag manga or anime there would be like Dawn to Dawn, and even that's got quite a bit of story to it, right? It's not like
Mhm.
vignettes like this.
No, exactly. No, the like Don to Don it actually goes through an actual story and all that stuff here. Here is literally just like we're gonna take a very specific trope, turn it like for instance, one of my favorite ones, it's Hidenori, and you always see him basically like it's sunset right by the water, like a little canal, and there's always a bridge in the corner somewhere. And then you get to interact and you get the first interaction with him and this one other girl. And then you realize that like he's foreshadowing this thing in his mind as he's speaking, and this is like one of my favorite gags the entire freaking show because I am a giant romance anime guy. I love romance animes, and that is almost the tip top like number one thing that always happens in a lot of romance animes. Just that specific scene, and then you see him just like being cool and collective, and then he says one thing, and he starts freaking out in his mind after. He's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I just said that. That makes me sound so freaking dumb, and makes me sound so cliche. Why am I even saying this thing? I need to do something quick for me to get out of here."
Yeah.
Like just that portion alone is like one of the it's so funny.
Yeah, I also like how they do the, thing at the river with the other guy later, and then he, like, says something, and then he's like, "Oh my god, it was the wrong girl."
Oh man, like and the fun part about that one has like it that one's one of the few like overarching plots that happen like throughout the entire series, which I think is hilarious that they just continued that one specifically, which is great. We get like and we also get like the group of characters just in general from what we see from the main cast, which is basically like Hidenori, we have Yoshitake, and then Tadakune. Like those are the main three guys, but then everyone else around them is always like some sort of like gag on like a character archetype the entire time, and every single one just fits every single one of their profiles like very very well in between like the small little story arcs that we get from like whenever they're ever first introduced in all those little parts and stuff.
Man, you are way better at anime names than me because I could not have named a single person from this. I am so bad at remembering anime names, especially if I didn't watch a dub.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, that guy, blonde guy, short dark hair dude, light brown hair with glasses.
You know what the moment you said that, here's like I'll give you like some of the list of like the random characters that are on there, and then some of them, and I'll give you their actual names that they give you in the actual like anime. Like for instance, the blonde haired dude that's the student council president, his name is President. The freaking tanned dude that's with the blonde hair that looks like a delinquent, he is vice president. That's his name too. The main boy himself, like Tadakuni, like whenever they like they all like hang out at his house, his sister, whenever his sister's in the frame, her name is literally Tadakuni's little sister or Tanikuni no Moto. That's literally like all that's her name. It's just like they keep the side characters very like simple, and then the ones they want to focus on they actually give them names. Like Motoharu is the delinquent guy but that gets bullied by his sister.
Mhm.
So like at least he actually has a preeminent actual like story arc that happens in there, which is kind of sad because of like every single time he's in the story arc he's getting bullied in somehow like some sort of manner. Or Karasawa, the dude in the hat. Like one of the funniest things is like they were asking, it's like, why does Karasawa wear a hat? And then we find out why it was. And then once the girls that are in the little side one that they do, which is like girls are funky, like those girls, like basically once they find out like he has a scar on his head, like one of them started paying him because he like she felt really bad. But then there's also a backstory of why she's paying him on top of that too. I don't know if you caught that.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so I think it was like episode 11 or 12. It's one of those two. They make mentions of like there used to be this girl in like middle school that like savagely destroyed like a bunch of students and stuff like that. And the main reason why Karasawa has a freaking scar on his head is because she did that to him. That girl is the girl in the that was paying him. She's actually the demon that they were talking about. The day I think they call it the demon dawn. I think that's what they
Oh
called her.
shit.
She is the demon dawn because that's literally her as like basically being a normal person, but like they give you like that there's always that split personality of either like they can be like a tsundere, which is essentially just a girl that's very mean, or a yandere, which is basically a girl that will kill you but loves you at the same time. So that's basically like her character archetype. Like she fits both of those, which I think is hilarious as hell.
Huh.
Yeah.
That is wild. Yeah, no, I did not catch that at all. Like by the end, I think I was kind of just like half paying attention because like I said, like I was kind of burnt out by the end, just like powering through skits. I did it in like, I think like 2 days I watched the entire thing. Like I started it one evening and then I got up the next morning and I finished it. And by the end, I was like, wow, I am a little bit, I was like, what did I just watch exactly? I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, this was definitely probably the wildest show out of them all as far as like,
This one's probably the most tamed out of all of the other ones that almost kind of follow this specific format. Like if you go through some of the other ones that are kind of closest in this vicinity, we have like Gintama. Gintama's been around for like over like I think it's almost 16, 17 years, and that thing's still going strong. They're still throwing movies out and stuff like that. And that thing is also in not in the similar vein as this thing, but they have gags in their main stories that also like almost do the same thing in here as well. They mix like other animes.
I've heard of Gintama and I've wanted to check it out.
It's amazing. It is super hilarious, man. It's like it's literally you can turn your brain off.
Okay, well, maybe I'll have to have you back for Gintama then.
Gintama's like 400 plus episodes and like 18 movies.
Oh, we'll do it in a we'll do a chunk of it. Like we'll watch a chunk, and we're not definitely not going to
No,
cover the
you're good.
whole
Not a
thing.
big deal. Like I'm fine with that thing. There's one also called Wasteful Days of High School Girls as well. It's basically this exact
Oh,
thing, but they do it as like the girl version of it in an all girls school. That one gets a little weird sometimes, but it's
interesting.
the funny part is not as super weird as this one because the other one is like it's kind of weird, but it's like it's very tamed in the aspect of like how this one is because these guys go balls to the wall like immediately.
I was a little weirded out by the one where they're like, "Dude, you look good in that skirt," and then they convince him to like start posing. And I was like, "Okay," I was like, "Fuck," I was
That
like, "This
part
is
got
not
me.
for
The
me." I was about to stop
the
watching there, and then his sister comes in and beats the shit out of them, and I was just like, "Okay, yeah, no, okay." I was like, "I'll keep going." I was like, "This is getting to a line." I was like, "I don't need to watch teenagers do this." And then I think one of the moments that actually made me laugh, and not a lot of shows make me
Mhm.
laugh out loud, but you mentioned earlier the scene where he's at the waterfront and then he's like, I texted my friend. He's like, I've called in backup. And then I don't remember the line from the dub part was so good for this. Like the guy shows up and he's like, "Hey, there's 2 for 1 of whatever," and then she
Beats the
just
shit
beats
out
the
of him.
shit out of him. And then there's like the slight callback a few skits later where he's like, "Well, I got the shit kicked out of me by a girl the other day."
I like when they do callbacks like that because that's what like it keeps you in not the fact that it keep you more invested into the actual show. It's all like, did you see that this thing happened beforehand? And then they make mentions of it later on. And it's all like, oh shit, what the hell? Really? I did not know that. Like blah blah blah. Like you brought that up too. Because it's funny because like that same exact scene, it's all like you hear freaking Hidenori basically says like you got to read the room, man, read the room, and that's why you got your ass kicked.
Yeah, it's I love that one was pretty good. Like some of them, it's just like I sat through it. I was like, okay, I got the premise of the joke. It wasn't for me. Others, it was like, holy fuck, that is poignant. That is on point, and that is fucking hilarious.
I think one of my most favorite random skits that they have on there was when they were discussing basically like the brochure of the school. And then they go up to the principal and they ask the principal, it's like, hey, why was there a 30-day fast and all that stuff? And like he's all like, crap, I've only been the principal here for 3 years. So how in the world am I supposed to explain this to these children? Then he goes like on a giant freaking like 1985, like 1985 or 1987. Then he like breaks down like an entire like basically like a very intense like moment of like the school being closed is going to get closed down and all this stuff. And then like out of nowhere at the very end, one of them basically says like the school was open in 1987, and then and then like everyone's just like, oh fuck.
Yeah, there is
There's some
some
bangers in
like
there.
the humor definitely wouldn't be for everyone, but like if you like a punchline that takes a bit of thought sometimes, or even just isn't the one you're expecting, like you're expecting it to be one thing, and unless like it might be different if you're Japanese, but it definitely feels like one of those things where it's like I'd say it's closer to humor like The Office than it is something like typical humor.
No, I agree with you on that thing because there is like a lot of it is a lot of dry humor, which some people will find that
Yes,
yeah.
that's
No,
what I
you're
was
good.
looking
You're
for.
good. I got you, man. That's why I'm here for you, man. Yeah, there's a lot of dry humor like in between these things. And that's why like I kind of feel that this show is actually like really rated super high. It's a really great show. Like it personally is in my top 20 of all time like animes just because it's like it's a this show you can literally turn your brain off, watch some stuff, just see some dumb stuff happen in between and be like, huh, I remember watching this anime because they did that in like that anime. It's like, oh, they make references all the time to other things. It's like that's what like key that's why I like a lot of like little small animes like this. Basically, like you if you understand shonen anime just in general as a whole, this is basically gonna be like that show where you'd be like, oh, I know exactly what's going on and all these things. This is so dumb. Or it's like, oh my god, that's so funny because I saw blah 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 this character do it. I seen Naruto do some dumb shit like this before. This is pretty good.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun, and like talking about it, it's like after I watched it, I was kind of like, did I really like that? Talking about it, it's like, fuck yeah, I liked this show. It was funny. It was fun. It weirded
Yeah.
me out at points, but that's the nice thing about the skits is they're short and they're sweet. So when you don't like one, you just move on and you find one that does make you laugh. So it throws a lot at you, and like any kind of show that does that, not everything is gonna hit for you, but it does a really good job.
What did you think of the ED, the ending theme and
Oh,
the ending scenes?
I honestly don't remember it. I remember the intro very well, but I don't even. I'm like now. I definitely listened to it, but I guess it didn't stick in my head at all.
So I personally think this is one of the best like outro basically like scenes that's being played out. It's basically everyone's in the auditorium, they're watching like a play happening, but there's a mixture of like Dragon Quest characters from Bobobo
Oh,
and then just like random of their students just doing random things in between. Like we
is that the play where he's like killing everybody?
yes, yeah, he's killing everybody. That's basically like
Or
all
is
the whole
that
ending. They're all
that's the
that's
ending?
the ending theme. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I only watched that once then, and I was very confused. And that yeah, no, that makes so much more sense. Oh, yeah, no, that's hilarious. I didn't realize that was in all of them. So yeah, I guess it skipped it for me for all of them when I watched it in
Oh,
Japanese. And so I only seen that because of the AW dubs there.
where did you watch it then? Because the thing is like it shouldn't have stopped you from watching that thing because there's more stuff after the end of the credits as well.
Well, I missed everything after the credits then. I was watching, I can't remember what the website was, but it was a website I probably shouldn't have been using. And I had a skip outro thing on it.
Oh,
So it was skipping the end theme every time, most likely, plus whatever was behind it.
gotcha. Okay, then that's understandable to be honest. But yeah, like honestly, like the ED is like basically a really good it's a good reference to when you always get the beginning of like a shonen anime whenever they do their intros or their openings. It's so epic sounding and all that stuff. And then the ED is usually like very tamed, very calm, something like that. But the calmness of the song and then what's going on in the background of that thing are two completely different types of energies that's happening in there. And it's pretty intensely good.
Yeah.
And the best part about it too is the if you once you finish watching, like once everyone's basically like knocked out and all that stuff, and then all that's left is basically Dai, the hero, standing up, which is Motoharu. You get a picture at the very end, and it's basically all the kids that are involved in the actual ones. And if you look closely on a lot of the kids that are on there, a lot of them are weird. You have one guy that literally has like his shirt off, but there's like something written on his chest. There's a guy that has nipple clamps as well. There's one guy that has his yeah. You're probably not gonna go rewatch just that just to see the very end part now, aren't you?
Probably, yeah. Like, I just remember sitting there being like, "Okay, like, what is going on? Why is there this super violent school play?" I was waiting for a moment of like a teacher to run out and stop something, and then it just keeps going. And my favorite moment has to be when dude puts on the wig, runs up to him as a woman, and then the dude in the
There's a woman.
bear costume just cracks him. I was like,
Bam.
what the fuck am I watching?
Oh man, the funny part is that's also my favorite part in that entire thing too. Because he came out of nowhere.
How can it
Came
not
out of
be?
nowhere.
It comes out of absolute nowhere. It's just like, oh, hey, running in to kiss the hero. Denied by the fucking
Nope.
bear costume. Like, I
Not
was like,
not
what
my
the
boy.
fuck is this? And the whole time I didn't realize that was at the end of every fucking
Yeah,
episode. Because yeah,
that's
I only seen it
the
in
first episode probably.
I only seen it in the one. That's
Yeah.
wild.
If you rewatch that, just stop at the point where like they show the photo and then just look at all the characters. You're gonna find something to be like,
Well, I'm gonna
yeah,
have
because you're
to
gonna see something
now.
and be like, what the fuck? I did not notice that person had piss on his pants. I didn't know that person has like fake blood all over him. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's why I'm like a lot of things. This anime, like, even though it's supposed to be a turn your brain off anime, you actually do kind of have to pay attention to certain things because you're gonna miss it the first time, and I think that's pretty fucking hilarious because this is like my sixth time watching this anime because I really love this anime. Like I watch this in like on those days when I'm like, I need something to watch where it make me feel better, and this one always makes me feel like amazing afterwards.
That's the deadly thing about shows where they put in that kind of effort with layers is you can go back and watch it and enjoy it for different things. Like, I
Mm.
know when I rewatched The Office, I discovered one of my favorite gags of anything ever, where it's just Steve Carell while he's talking about something else. He's adding sugar to Diet Pepsi and like sipping it and tasting
Oh,
it. And it's just like, it's one of my favorite silent gags in anything ever. It's just so dumb. He's just adding
oh
sugar to
man,
fucking
I didn't
Diet
even remember
Pepsi.
that in The
And it's like,
Office.
God damn it.
Man,
Yeah, it's just this great it's just one of those amazing silent gags where like I never, if it wasn't COVID and I wasn't watching it repeatedly, I never would have noticed it. Now I can never unsee it.
that's it, and that's the oh my god.
I love when animation does little things like that, like when they like foreshadow something so well. Like they'll be like, "Yes, I was in this window in this scene here," and then you like go back and it's like, "Holy shit, yeah, they actually drew them in the window frame in that scene."
Yeah. Also, like one big thing that I don't know, like it can go over people's heads sometimes, but the reactions of the characters, especially when the drawings get like very like morbid sometimes, where it'd be like where they got caught and they're like, oh, and then it's like intensified like face just for something so like mundane and subtle that they just over exaggerated some of the actual facial expressions. Like those parts were like those hit me hard the most because those things are hilarious as
Yeah.
hell.
And see, one of the ones that got me the most was one where when they didn't do a big reaction. It was like the tough guy and his buddies like messing around with
Mhm.
sticks, and then girls walk by and they kind of just stop. And then they go back to what they were doing without like any big reaction. And that got me because I was waiting for the big anime reaction. And when it didn't happen, I was like, I was like, okay, I like it.
You have to play it cool. You gotta play it cool. Oh man. And that's the thing though. Like this anime probably has something for everybody in it. I get that like gag animes and especially comedy animes in general. A lot of people don't really like a lot of those things, but you kind of can get the feel of like how a lot of these things portray specific like scenes, formulas and stuff like that. It's all down to a T. But after a while, you start getting the feel of like, oh my god, this is. I think I know what's coming next, and then boom, sometimes it just like hits you right there, and you're like, yep, I knew it. And you'll either enjoy it or you won't.
And you know what? If you don't enjoy it the first time around, if maybe subbed humor isn't your thing, try out the fan dub on YouTube there. It is pretty good. And I love to support fan projects. So they don't make any money off of it from what I can tell. It's just a fan passion project. And it's pretty good. They put a lot of work into keeping the spirit of the jokes. I watched them back to back right away, and like while the wording and the punchlines are different, they keep the spirit and the meaning of every joke, and it's literally as close as you could do adapt it without it not sounding awkward. Like they take the spirit of the joke, but they take the phrasing and make it anglicized, and it's really good. Some of the voices are a little bit awkward coming out of certain people, but
Yep.
you get used to
Yeah.
it pretty quick.
That's usually how it goes with like most dub animes. Yeah, you'll get used to it pretty quick on some of those parts. I mean, like, I'm probably gonna go and actually watch at least like that first episode.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth checking out if you love the show. Like, it's like if supporting fans is always great, and like it's always curious. Like, it's always cool just to see what people do with it. Like, I love a good abridged series, and it honestly felt like watching one of those, just a less. I mean, it wasn't abridged, but I mean, I guess it feels a lot like the modern stuff now because like Team Four Star just does
Hmm?
skits.
No, yeah, no, I get what you mean on that. Yeah, like most modern animes nowadays, they try to like keep it as appealing as they can. It's like the modern audience just for that specific takes, but it's just it can work out in both ways too. It's like either bring it back the original,
Oh,
either bring it back the
definitely.
originals audiences for that thing, or bring in the new ones that basically would prefer English over Japanese, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, as long as the work's put in, I don't mind a dub. If it's like I just watched G Gundam, and like as corny and amazing as it is, it's like watching it in succession is hard. It's like it is amazing. Like 90s 80s dubs are fucking fantastic, especially like you never get silence. Like there's no air of silence at all. If something has to be menacing and there should be a whoosh,
Hmm?
then it's for like all the time, and there's never silence in a 90s dub. It's
Nope.
glorious.
Undefeated of the East, Domo.
Yes.
Dude, G Fighter is one of my
Never
favorites.
ever calls him
No,
Master Asia. He calls
Master
him Master or calls
defeated
him
of the
Undefeated
East.
of the
Never
East.
either or.
Never by his name.
To me,
It's
to me,
so great.
Futsaki.
Oh, and
Oh
Shining
man, now,
Finger has to be one of the greatest things ever shouted before melting something's face.
yeah, right. This burning hand of mine burns with a burning passion.
My hate, my
Oh,
sorrow, and oh, whatever. Like, oh, fuck, it's so great. So great.
shining finger.
Oh yeah, no, that's the episode before
Hmm.
this one, and I had a lot of fun, lot of fun with G Gundam. Can't wait for
God,
part two. Anyways, thanks a lot
I,
for coming on. Is there anything you wanted to say before we wrap it up here?
yeah, go check out some more of like these comedy animes. They're really good. It's just the fact that like I get that some people don't get like how the comedy works on these things, but go check out some of them because a lot of these are really good. Like I said, this one's a very highly rated show, and there's some other ones that are super highly rated, like Gintama. Go watch Wasteful Days of High School Girls. Go watch Asobi Asobase. Like all of these ones are really freaking hilarious like shows, and they need to be shown more love because not a lot of people talk about these animes anymore.
Yeah, I was honestly kind of against comedy anime for a long time. I just thought it wasn't for me. And then it wasn't till like certain things like I watched Dawn to Dawn, Ranma One Half, and a few other things, and I was like, these are not
Yeah.
bad at all. Like these are pretty all right. Like I was like, it was just I think it was that a lot of the humor I was exposed to was from things like shonen action manga and stuff, where it's like it's not being written by comedy writers. It's being written by a guy who has a story to tell and everything, who's trying to make you laugh in passing because he thought, this is kind of silly. And it's like, yeah, that's the point. It's supposed to be something a little silly. Like, unless you're reading like original Dragon Ball, the idea isn't really to be a comedy manga.
No.
And then I thought back and I was like, original Dragon Ball has some of my favorite jokes. Like, Krillin, what are you doing? You don't even have a nose. You're right. I don't. And then suddenly he's good against the guy who
He's-
smells like shit.
It was like shit.
I was
Yeah.
like, peak. That is like peak animation joke. Like,
Yeah.
he's drawn Krillin without a nose for how many chapters, and now it comes into play. I was like, that is fucking
Yeah.
golden.
And then sometimes you get like where they just make it seem like they're just so freaking like into and so passionate like what they're doing. And then you realize that you're probably like reading like a JoJo's manga or like watching JoJo, and like you realize like, oh, this is just stupid. He's just being silly the entire time. He just sounds super serious, but you know something stupidly silly is gonna happen next.
Oh, Joseph Joestar has to be one of my favorite
Yes.
characters
Oh,
in fiction.
100%.
Like the secret move,
Run away!
run away, is one of my favorite moments ever. That killed.
Yeah, that's why, because it's like he just had a very either intense fight with like one of the vampires, or it was like cars out of nowhere just became immortal, and he's all like, "Oh shit! Now I'm trying to use my secret technique," and then it's like boom, boom. It's like super serious, and then run away.
Yes, like JoJo's part 2 is so
Oh.
tonally perfect. It was hard for me going into part 3 after part 2. I feel like that's where the series peaks, but I don't know. A lot of people think otherwise, so I don't know.
Part 4 is probably the best storytelling of all of it. 5 is very, very fun, just like 3 is.
Part 4, I don't know if it's because I binged part 3 and 4. I binged 3 and 4, and I was burnt out by the end of 4, and I was just didn't care about what was going on really anymore. And I don't know if I need to go back and check it out at a slower pace, but like I really like part 3. I was like, pretty good, bit weirder, but like still good. And then part 4, other than the fight with Dio, I don't remember almost any of it.
Hmm. Part 3 ends with the Dio fight. Part 4 is Josuke's story. Josuke's story.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you haven't seen Josuke stuff, then
Then
you're still in part
never
you're still
mind,
in part
yeah.
3, because the Dio fight is the ending to part 3.
Okay.
Part 4 is you get the Mori Mori Mori.
Yeah, I think Netflix just divvied it up weird in like seasons instead of parts.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem, and a lot of people always say seasons, and they're not seasons, they're parts, because it's its own congruent story after the other one.
Yes.
So like part 4 is probably my favorite one of all time, but nothing beats Steel Ball Run. Steel Ball Run's probably one of the best mangas of like the whole JoJo series. So I mean, that's being animated pretty soon. So
I've heard good things about it. I think the manga was running when I was doing research on something else, like it had just started, and that's the one where it's a female
no,
Joestar.
that's part 6.
No,
That's part 6. I meant Steel Ball Run is part 7. That's Stone Ocean is
okay, so yes, it was the one right
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah,
Then,
that's the
yes.
current one that's barely being animated right now, which is Steel Ball Run, or SBR, what most people just basically call it. So
Yeah, and the naming is so random. Like,
oh yeah, it is.
anyways, any thing to plug before we start wrapping things up here? Anywhere people can find you or anything?
Yeah, so I'm all over Discord. So if some of you guys are in the random anime Discords that I'm in, I'm known as Oni-chan Ash on a lot of Discords out there. And when it comes to anime and stuff like that, you guys can also follow me on twitch.tv/Ezio619. I do some fighting game live streams like once every like couple of days. So I'm going to be doing Street Fighter 6. I'm learning new characters and stuff like that. So come check it out. Then if you also want to follow, yeah. So if any of you guys also want to follow me, like on X, for instance, it's at SimpXSenpai. Just type that into X and you'll find me right there.
Awesome. And if anyone listening wants to come on the show, just email us at pod.fandoms@gmail.com and recommend an anime. And anyone who comes on between now and December 31st will be entered in to win the Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter figure, just like our guest today, Ash Bashem, aka Christian. So if you win, I will contact you for your details to send it to you. And if you out there want to win Hisoka, just come on the show. If you're too shy, you can refer friends, and once they've recorded, you will be entered to win. You can come on for entries up to 3 times for guest entries and an unlimited amount of times for referrals. So yeah, if you want to win the figure, either refer some friends or shoot us an email and get on the show. And otherwise, you can find us on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, Discord, and Reddit, wherever. We're also looking for trivia writers and other things. So if that sounds like fun to you, hit us up. Anything you wanted to say before we get out of here?
I need to go grab some toast and go running with my friends to school.
And with that, we are out of here. This has been a Fancast Studios production. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to check out Fandoms and Chaos Crucible on your podcast provider of choice. Have a wonderful day, evening, morning, or whenever you're listening.